This is the Reality Radio Network on Telstar 5 Transponder 5 and on the internet at realityradionetwork.com.
It's a heartache, nothing but a heartache. Hits you when it's too late, hits you when you're down. It's a fool's game, nothing but a fool's game. Standing in the cold rain, feeling like a clown. It's a heartache, nothing but a heartache. Love until your arms break, then he lets you down. It ain't right with love to share when you find he doesn't care for you. It ain't wise to need someone as much as I depended on you. Oh, it's a heartache, nothing but a heartache. Hits you when it's too late, hits you when you're down. It's a fool's game, nothing but a fool's game. Standing in the cold rain, feeling like a clown. It ain't right with love to share when you find he doesn't care for you. It ain't wise to need someone as much as I depended on you. Oh, it's a heartache, nothing but a heartache. Love until your arms break, then he lets you down. It's a fool's game, standing in the cold rain, feeling like a clown. It's a heartache, love until your arms break, then he lets you down.
And welcome back, everybody, to the second half hour of this show. Ending the shows early from now on. They'll be from 8 to 9:30. So if you have a call-in or question, call in now at 260-356-2611. I wanted to read this email I got from a listener in response to what I had said about Mayor Nagin earlier. And she or he says, even though Nagin had 1,000 buses sitting in the parking lot, remember this hurricane happened on the weekend when drivers were hard to find, and even with 1,000 buses, it would be difficult to move over 100,000 people. Think of the time it would take to load passengers, drive to another location, and unload passengers. I don't think this could be done knowing the enormous number of people to be relocated and all the problems which overwhelmed the officials. Some of the people did not want to leave the city, and most of the people who stayed in their houses didn't want to evacuate. Just another thought. And that's true. We all know older people get set in their ways, and I could just hear most of them saying, I'm not leaving. And like I said, I know a lot of people probably thought that they could write it out in their basements or whatever. Maybe not basements in New Orleans because it's below sea level. But a lot of them being in their homes thinking I could get through the wind damage part, and then a day later, boom, here comes all the waters because the levees are busted. And so it was obviously the water that probably did most of the death toll, the cause of most of the death toll in New Orleans is all the water damage being done from what some people are alleging, the levees themselves being blown up to force that flooding. Another question from a listener in Florida. I was wondering if martial law is implemented, will our local police department be liable for enforcing these new laws, or will federal agents take over law enforcement maneuvers? Well, actually, it's neither in martial law. Martial law is military law, and so the military takes over. The Constitution is suspended. The President of the United States can implement all the executive orders that they've been declaring since Nixon left office, and they've been setting up all kinds of executive orders that the President of the United States can implement and enact. And we would literally be under military rule, with the President taking the role as Commander-in-Chief. Of course, right now it's pretty much been Commander-in-Sleep for all these years. I don't think it's going to change then either. But one of his titles is Commander-in-Chief, and that's part of his job as being chief over the military. And so martial law basically means military law. So that's what you would see in our streets, and running everything would be soldiers, military soldiers. And of course, a lot of people are thinking, how can we have military law in this country, martial law in this country, when all of our soldiers are overseas? And so that's, you bring out the other aspect of the New World Order that we've been sounding the alarms on for years, and the fact that the United Nations would step in with their troops. And nobody seems to take notice that Singapore had said that they were going to send some of their troops to New Orleans. And so, we've been hollering for years that they've been stocking up foreign soldiers on American military bases, that they've been closing military bases, officially being closed, but unofficially being taken over by foreign occupations. You look at one of these bases out in California being run by the Chinese in San Diego. Look at Holloman Air Force Base, where the Germans have pretty much taken over it. And they say it's just a training for German Air Force pilots and whatever, But that's what they would do, bring in foreign troops